Hello, my name is Emike. So after my last post on offenses in marriage, I got a couple of feedbacks regarding that video, but I want to respond to particularly two people who thought that their husband may be a narcissist. So this video is about narcissistic behaviors in marriage. Now, one of the things that I must let you know is that the fact that your spouse behave in a certain way doesn't mean that they are possibly narcissists. So you must understand what that term means for you to conclude that your partner may be suffering from something. Because one thing you must know is narcissistic behavior associated with mental disorder. So you don't want to tell me that you just discovered that your husband might have a narcissistic behavior. Again, even if narcissism is common with men, sometimes women also can be narcissists. So you're asking, so how does it come? Some people who may have suffered childhood circumstances that may have led to trauma and are yet to overcome it might exhibit that behavior in marriage. For instance, people who were either maybe raped as children, who were victimized as children, and are still struggling with getting past the issue may be traumatic and sometimes may bring that behavior into marriage. Like I said in my last video, if you have committed your marriage into God's hand, I believe that there is no situation that God cannot turn around. There is no past that God cannot right. And there is no issue in marriage that God cannot deal with. One thing you also must realize is that the fact that your husband or your wife may be exhibiting some narcissistic behavior doesn't necessarily mean by they may be narcissists. For instance, when you have headache, you have a temperature, those may be symptoms of malaria, but may not necessarily mean that you are suffering from malaria. Maybe other things, maybe you're hungry, or maybe some other kinds of ailments. So if your partner exhibits behavior such as, well, they are uncaring on Tuesday, if that is not their lifestyle, that is who they are, then they are not narcissistic. Now, a narcissistic behavior in marriage means someone who is consistently uncaring, someone who puts you down, someone who doesn't use who uses abusive words, someone who wants to have their own way, someone who is manipulative, and someone who does things to hurt you deliberately. They can even be in the house with you and you're living lonely. They push you out, and they can, when they want to be intimate with you, is for sexual reason. They can be in their own world and be happy. They don't care about your happiness, and that is just their persistent lifestyle. It's different from a man who is having a financial crisis, is having issues at work, is having issues with his in-law, is having issues with his friend, and because of that he may be reacting. I want you to get the two right so that you don't think that, oh, my husband is broke, then he's a narcissist. This is a temporary behavior. But for a narcissist, sometimes they're not even aware that they have over bloated ego. They are not even aware that they are hurting you. Which is why when a partner exhibits such kind of behavior in marriage, it's advisable that they see professional counselor and therapists to help them work through the process. A couple of counselors and therapists believe that narcissists cannot change because the condition cannot be reversed. Instead, they believe that it should only be married. I beg to differ. Like I said in my last video, I'm a Christian counselor, and I strongly believe that there is no condition that God cannot turn around, because I believe that nobody gets married to anyone and expect that they're going to have a difficult time in marriage, which is why I would always say practice the habit of constantly committing your marriage and your partner to God. So why some people believe that narcissistic behavior cannot be dealt with, only cope, I believe that can be turned around. So what I suggest that if you think that, well, my partner exhibits such kind of behavior, I can put up with, is that first you want to tell God about it. Tell God about it. You did not marry to have a difficult time. So why not report the issue to God? Remember, I said in my last video that when you go through tough time in marriage, the first solution should not be to walk away, to walk out, to go somewhere else, because problems exist in life so we can solve them. Talk to God about it. Report the matter to God. Sincerely pray about it. And if that partner is willing to also pray, why don't you pray about it? Now, if you see that the issue, the situation persists, learn to also set boundaries. Now, I remember I said this the last time and someone said, can you set boundaries in marriage? Yes, you can. If you know what irritates your partner, won't you avoid it? If you know what makes your partner easily angered, they flare up, they begin to react, then you avoid it. Thirdly, learn to take care of yourself. A lot of people get married and throw themselves away. Some people get married and they cut off from their friends, they cut off from their family members, just to face their spouse. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not mean that you get married and you're still putting attention on these other people. Yes, I agree that your loyalty should be now to your husband, but these are the supporting network you had before you got married. So once you're married, doesn't mean you should cut off this other people. Still have them as friends. I mean, friends you can relate with, friends you can talk with. Some people have them as old friends from the school. Some people have them from the church. Once in a while, you just want to feel, know where to draw the line, so you don't have someone in your life who is discouraging you from working on your marriage. Fourth, take care of your mental health. People know how to take care of their body, they know how to take care of everything around them except their mental health. Sadly, your mental health is even more important than your body, because you can dress looking really good and there's so much going on inside of you. One of the ways that you can take care of your mental health is have someone to talk to. Before you begin to look for solutions for your narcissistic partner, you are the one who should first talk to a professional, so you're protecting your mental health before you can be able to give help to someone. Now, someone who is sick does not look for a doctor for another person who is sick, except they themselves are in good health. So you need to also talk to someone. We live in a society that makes us feel that someone has a problem and they should go look for the solution. We forget that in marriage it's a little different. If your partner, for instance, is abusive towards you, it's not just your partner that in this case will need counseling or therapies. You who have condoned you who have accepted to be abused, you who have bear the abuse, you who is at the receiving end of the abuse, you also need counseling, because the situation will affect your mental health. The same goes for someone who stays or live or is married to a narcissistic partner. Their mental health can be affected, because over time they will hear that you're not good enough. They will not, your partner will not take your advice. Your partner will think that that marrying you is like doing your village people or your family a favor. Now, if you've lived with that kind of mentality for a long time, then you will need counseling. Again, remember that I said that if you have committed your marriage into the hands of God, there is no situation too difficult for God to handle. So if you think that your partner needs help, please start by praying about it. After you've prayed, put up a good attitude. Protect yourself. Love yourself. Know that there is life beyond the marriage. Be happy with who you are. Then find a professional counselor to help you walk through the journey of healing, and things will turn around, I believe. I will come your way again for more marriage talks, but I encourage you to look forward to my next video, where I will be talking about dealing with malice in marriage. God bless you.